Straight Talk on Ascension episode number 1. Dr. Suzanne Lie. Many of us are having a lot of unique situations and the energy feels very different. Those of us who have been on the path for a long time know that this energy is a part of the path. We also know that it is the difficult part because it is where we are moving into brand new territory that we have never experienced before. This new territory feels like it is the next step, but we do not have a clue how to navigate through this frequency of reality. However, we do know that we need to call in our higher multidimensional self and connect with the component of ourself who is able to assist us in the manner that we can best accept. It is important that we connect with our own stream of consciousness, our own web of beingness. Our own higher expressions of self know everything about every component of our multidimensional self. Therefore, they can best assist us as we travel through our ascension process. Furthermore, our higher self perceives everything our grounded self does, but from a multidimensional perspective. Because we are here to ascend Gaia, we need to clean up every unresolved issue from any of our incarnations. Our grounded self is not aware of all the thought forms and energy fields we have left from our myriad incarnations, but our higher self does. Therefore, we must go down into the basement and up into the attic to clean up every spot of all the lives we have ever taken. We do this for Gaia. We do this for Gaia because we came for her this time. We've gone through many lives when we came for ourselves. We wanted to experience a cause and effect planet, a planet where you put energy out, and it came back. When we were at a low state of consciousness, our effect came back so much later in time that we often forgot that we were the ones who put it out. Therefore, we often felt like we were victims. Now suddenly everything is speeding up, whoosh, so fast. And, we are leaving time, we are moving into now. As we move into this nowness, everything changes. Everything shifts, because if we don't have time, we don't have sequence. Hence, that sequence that we have so relied on was our subconscious, our unconsciousness, and our conscious self. Then, there was superconscious, our higher angel, our ascended master. But beings are not lined up in a row like that anymore. That separation was an illusion based on the illusion of time. And the illusion of time was created because it was a cause and effect planet. In order for the brave beings that took bodies on Gaia so that they could learn that energy out as energy back here had to be time. Hence, we put our energy out, but as I said before, then it came back so much later that we didn't learn. Our frequency energy fields and thought forms are much faster. They move out faster and come back to us much faster, meaning they come back to us in less time. Therefore it looks like we are really working our ascension by eating right and sleeping right and meditating and unconditionally loving and blazing the violet fire and reading the right things and loving nature, etc., etc. However, even with all these choices, we are the ones having the difficult initiations. Meanwhile, that person over there hasn't done a thing and they are just riding free and easy. This dynamic is occurring because those people are at that frequency in which the energy that they put comes back to them much later in time. On the other hand, those of us who are accepting the process of ascension are having higher states of consciousness. Hence, whatever energy fields and thought forms we send out come back very quickly. In fact, we are also bumping into energy fields and thoughts forms from other incarnations and timelines to clear our other realities, as well as our current one. Gaia is shifting into her higher frequencies now. Hence, higher frequencies of Gaia are starting to open up. This opening is because more and more of us have expanded their consciousness enough to expand our perceptions. Then, these higher perceptions allow us to perceive a higher frequency reality just beyond our third-dimensional world. Those who only believe the physical world is real put out those thought forms and those energy fields. Thus, that is the reality that they have created. On the other hand, those of us who are expanding our consciousness and perceptions are beginning to perceive more and more shifts of energy in our daily life. There are octaves of Gaia that are almost like a stair-step that we can only see through our third eye, our fifth-dimensional imagination, and by releasing our third-dimensional limitations, connecting with our fifth-dimensional and beyond self, creating an intimate daily communication with our higher self, listening to what it is telling us, then and most important, doing what our higher self has shared with us to do. All of these perceptual changes represent a very big shift in our consciousness, our life and interpretation of reality. In fact, this shift is from being a third-dimensional human to being a multidimensional awareness that has taken a human earth vessel. I was born in 1946 and forgot to forget. Therefore, I felt cast adrift on a hostile planet for decades. But now I know that it was never the planet that was hostile, it was the cabal that was hostile. It took communicating with my galactic family to realize that, as well as a lot of therapy and meditation. My point in the above paragraph is that I have been on Earth for a while, most of time fully aware of energy fields and cosmic events, but this now is different. It was never like this before. This energy is brand new. Another thing that is different is that we, the people, are really taking full responsibility for the reality that we have created. In fact, we are not only taking responsibility for this life, but also for what we have created in past lives, or even in what we might think of as future lives. What do we do with this type of a challenge? We don't know, do we, because this hasn't occurred before. We can go back into any memory banks to find out how we did live in this type of reality on Earth. We could move in time to see a similar reality, but that's a different time. This is this now. And this now is different. I know it's different because I've had all these nows, all these many decades of this energy field not being here. Furthermore, what is happening now is not exactly happen the way humanity wanted it to happen. But something did occur, and is occurring. There were always times when reality shifted a little bit. Sometimes it shifted down into the dark side, which was not much fun. Other times, the shift was like the clouds cleared, and there was this now of illumination that we could all soak up and live within. We, the ones who have been engaged in this experiment of, can we transition from a third-dimensional body of clay that is filled with all the fourth-dimensional etheric issues that we have ever left in the astral plane in any of our incarnations? Could it be possible that we could clear all of third and fourth-dimensional effluvia in this lifetime? More so, can we do this clearing, not for ourselves, not because we want to ascend and we want out of here? We are already out of here. We are already multidimensional. The beings that we are talking to all the time, whether we remember it or not, are higher dimensional expressions of our own multidimensional self. We are already completely connected. In fact, we all volunteered to take this earth vessel to see if we could remember that within the earth vessel that we are wearing in this now is our own higher dimensional self. Even more difficult, we volunteer to know we are multidimensional even though our third-dimensional brain cannot remember and what we can remember within that persona. Hence, we must trust ourself. We must trust ourself even though we may think, wow, I really chose a hard way. Yes, we chose this way before we took this incarnation. We chose this path while we were within our fifth-dimensional self and beyond. We saw all the myriad incarnations, parallel and alternate realities. We were aware of all the different types of reality that we would need to pull into one big package and unconditionally love and blaze with the violet fire. Therefore, we need to say every day, as we look in the mirror, as we open our eyes, as we look into the pupils of our own eyes, I love you unconditionally. But, what is unconditional love? Love was always conditional. If we were good enough then we were loved. If we did the right thing, then we were loved. If we didn't, we weren't loved. Love was something that we earned, and if we were very good, we might be able to keep that love. But, if you were bad, you lost that love. But now there is the concept of unconditional love in which, no matter what we do or don't do, no matter who we are or aren't, we deserve, we are, we live, we channel, we ground unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness. Now that can be a challenge. Unconditional forgiveness is not I'll forgive you if or, when you unconditional forgiveness is without conditions. This unconditional forgiveness is a fifth-dimensional energy field, because I flow from the one of the higher dimensions. Another fifth-dimensional flowing energy field is unconditional acceptance, which reminds us that we chose the very program that we are running right now in the holographic illusion of third-dimensional Earth. We wrote this matrix, we live this matrix. If anyone is to change this matrix, it must be ourself, because we created it. Actually, changing the 3D matrix that we created is exactly what we are being called upon to do. And we will in changing our third-dimensional matrix, no only for ourself but Gaia as well. That is what is really different. We are remembering that we came here for Gaia. We came to Earth to assist with planetary ascension. We could remember this fact because we have remembered we are already ascended within the higher frequencies of our own multidimensional self.